Welcome to Turner's Talk for April 2021. Glad you could join us, and we'll just watch for anybody else joining in. So, I put out a request on Facebook asking for ideas for topics, and I got one from, I think it was from Mike Lenaway. And that was on.
I got one. I sent it.
That was on Etsy, how to set up on the Etsy store and set up PayPal. And that is something that really is something, it's got to be done as a whole individual thing for each subject. They're not hard, but they're very, for lack of a better term, intimidating to people who are doing it for the first time. And it's real hard to set them up in a forum like this where you're not giving away personal information like bank accounts and stuff like that. So I'm going to figure that out, and I think we'll have special meetings on how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Now, PayPal is not hard to set up. When you log into PayPal, it'll ask if you're a business or just a residential. And if you're doing it for your attorney business, you want to select business. It used to be, if you select residential, you didn't get charged any kind of fees. Well, now they're charging everybody for everything. So, you simply select it as a business, and then you just fill out the form. And then they'll ask you for your bank account routing number and your bank account number. And you give them that information, and when you conclude the sign up, you got to give it a couple days. They'll make 2 deposits into your account. It's like 2 cents and 6 cents or something like that. And when you see that, then you log back into PayPal and answer their question of what you saw deposited there. And that finalizes the registration, and you're in to PayPal.
So you want a separate account for that though, right?
A separate account? Yes.
You don't want to have like your family bank account number on that.
Oh, well, I have a separate PayPal for personal use, and it goes in my bank, my regular bank account. It's very safe. It's very safe and very well protected.
I believe PayPal is the parent company of Venmo, and I'm hearing a lot of people using Venmo now.
Okay, PayPal just bought Venmo. Venmo was a separate entity, and they wanted to get into more of the business market, but they weren't that secure. They were still new. They were still figuring it out, and a lot of young people use Venmo to exchange money with each other. And that's how they got started. And I've even done shows at places like United Shore headquarters where most of their people are millennials. And I've had people say, "Can I pay you with Venmo?" And sure. So I turn on my app and make sure the money comes to me, and I give them the product. So and then I very quickly moved it to my bank. So,
it's a separate app that you have to download for Venmo?
Yeah. It's a separate app, but they are owned by PayPal now, and they are starting to develop business accounts for Venmo.
Okay.
So I have 2 PayPal accounts. I have one for personal use and for family stuff and things like that, and I have the other one for the business. And each one has their own appropriate bank account information in it for where you want the money to go.
And I think if you're using Venmo to buy something out of state or whatever, it's not a good idea because there's no protection on it. At least when you go through PayPal, you have your credit card protection.
Right, and that's what PayPal is going to change with Venmo, though.
Oh, okay, so they're going to...
Yeah, because I even went to Venmo 2 years ago and asked if I could get a sticker to put in my booth. Because I have one for PayPal and MasterCard and all that stuff. And they goes, "We do not recommend you use us for your business. We're not 100% there yet. We still got some security issues." So I appreciated their honesty on it. But if I'm at an event, if I'm doing a show and somebody says, "I got Venmo," send it to me. My son a few years ago went to that Electric Forest, the big techno event out in the west side of Michigan. And he ran out of money, and he called me like 3 o'clock in the morning. He says, Dad, I need money. I need it real bad. And I goes, well, how am I supposed to get it to you? And so he talked me through setting up Venmo on my phone at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I would have said, sorry, I think you have the wrong number. Figure it out.
Yeah. So, we got question mark Sonny in the waiting room. I'm going to put him in and ask who it is. Let them get in real quick. So anyways, so PayPal, anybody, you should be able to figure that out as you go along with it. It's nothing really scary. And if you have to call into them, they're fantastic customer support. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, lately I've been getting emails saying my PayPal account has been frozen. And I'm pretty sure that's
probably scam. And you can always contact their customer support about it.
That's what I've been thinking.
Yeah, I've had that myself. So we have a Sonny that just logged in. If you're going to mute your mic and let us know who you are. So anyways, so yeah, if you're thinking about using PayPal, I would encourage you to get into it. There's a lot of good videos on doing that, and Etsy out on YouTube. Lots of
Jeff.
good. Hey there. Who is this?
Ken Kernicki. Sorry about that. I'm the Sony guy. Listen,
Okay.
I don't know how that I'm at work and I had a hard time getting hooked up with my phone here, but anyway,
Okay.
That's who I am. So I'm
Okay. Very good. Well,
I'm working and I'm gonna mute myself and the video. I'm just gonna listen in and that's where I'm at.
okay. We'll let you stay.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, Ken. Thanks.
a lot.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye. So anyways, that was the first item I wanted to cover tonight was Etsy and PayPal. And Etsy, I'm going to talk to a couple different people have asked me to help them set up an Etsy store. And it's not hard, it's just time consuming. So I'm going to be working with those people, and maybe with one of them we'll set up the store and do it online here. Do everything except for the banking information. And so I can show you guys how to set it up. Because like I said, it's not hard. It's just time consuming because you got to take pictures. Pictures have to be certain resolution. That's always been a problem on Etsy. And I finally got it figured out with all things my iPhone. All my pictures are taken with my iPhone. So you got to take pictures. You got to write your descriptions. Then you even got to go so far as if you're going to use their credit card acceptance and mailing, then you've got to get it all figured out as far as weight with the package and all that stuff. So I don't use any of that. I just do free shipping on all my PayPal. I got a little bit budgeted in for every single item. I'm sorry, with Etsy, I got a little bit extra budgeted in, like my $20 pens are $25, and that covers shipping and handling. And then I just do all my mailing through a company called pirateship.com. They are the most cost-effective way to ship with the United States Post Office. They actually beat the post office prices.
Postal Service?
Yes. So, when you download the label, you've got a U.S. Postal Service label.
Now, what information do you need to download a label? Do you need length, width, depth, and weight? Yeah. Yep. You need that information, whether it's a package, whether it's a box. I just shipped out a box in 2 letters this morning using that. One of them was a bowl that I sold, and the other 2 were the certificates, so the winners from the club meeting for the President's Challenge and Facebook Challenge. Now, how big was the bowl you shipped? The bowl was approximately 9 inches across, about 2 inches deep. It was my Comet Bowl, the one that looked like the comet was shooting through it. Okay. And that's on its way to Texas right now. So. How much was it to ship it? $8.47. So did you budget in like $10? Yeah. Yep. I recently sold a larger salad bowl, and I had budgeted in $15 for that because I knew I was going to have to go out and buy a box. It was an 11-inch by 6-inch deep salad bowl, and Office Max has got boxes that are 12 by 12 by 12, so that's just perfect. But you got to figure in that and the bubble wrap, stuff like that.
Do you have to take this to the post office, or does your
Yeah, I label it.
carrier pick it up?
I label it. I can have the carrier pick it up, or I can take it over and drop it off. You know, there's a place in my post office where I just drop it off on the counter. It's already labeled. But
So you don't ship it then until you receive your payment, whether it's PayPal or.
what was that again?
Do you wait until you receive your PayPal payment to ship it out? I assume, or do you?
No, because I'll tell you why. When the payment comes in, it comes into Etsy, and Etsy holds it, and I'm set up to have a deposit every Monday. And so if it's there, it's there. There's no way they can get it back without contacting me to have a refund taken care of.
Okay.
So I feel pretty comfortable sending it out, and I've never had a problem with that.
Has anyone, just because I'm not involved in selling, but I mean, do you have a lot of problem with people being something like it? You know, it doesn't look like what they thought it looked like in the picture.
No, and I'll tell you why. I go into detailed definitions of what my items are and their size and things like that.
Yeah.
I even tell them what it's finished with, which is generally always buffed carnauba wax. So I go into great detail with that, so that there are no real questions.
Yeah.
I've had people contact me and said, "This is much more beautiful than you even described, or than what the picture showed."
Yeah. Just I'm trying to. I think I'm on my 7th bowl now, and my wife's already asking, you know, how many more are we going to have in the family room? So.
Well, let's do this real quick. Let's go to my Etsy, and I'll show you one of my listings, and it'll be from my point of view, not the customer's point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was thinking about trying Facebook Marketplace, maybe just so it's local people, but.
Well, there's no, you can get Facebook. You can have it all over the country.
Yeah, that's true too. I wasn't sure if I wanted to start dealing with the shipping, but.
I'm going to get that out of there, and bump. You can see I've been to it quite a bit. So let's get this out of the way.
Is Etsy your only website?
I have my own, well, I have a separate website for the business, Crafted by Jeff. And in it, I got a button that they can click on and takes them right to the Etsy store.
Okay.
Now, I don't know why it's asking me to log in, but what the hey.
So how is it that you think people find you, you know, with the zillions of.
Well, that's the trick. And there's a lot of people on
Yeah.
Etsy who are just struggling to get people to know them. I talk about it on Facebook. I talk about it on Instagram, especially around Christmas time. I'm always putting out daily videos on new items that I have.
Yeah.
I have business cards that I hand out to people.
Mhm.
I don't know if there we go. And it's like, it's basically sales. Whoever you talk to, you tell them about it,
Yeah.
you know? Then I also ask my customers to, you know, if they like the product, please spread the word. And I even will say, you know, if you got somebody comes to me and they say you referred them, I'll give them a 10% discount. So I've done stuff like that too. So
how often, Jeff, do you think you get random people buying stuff?
I don't know that I've got random people yet.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's ways on their Etsy to like get yourself more in the algorithm of like what shows up, you know, to random people.
I've done stuff like that I can. There's a lot of things
I've never had a random person.
Yeah, they offer things to help you too, but they charge for them. So, and I'm trying to stay away from that kind of thing. So,
I know if you post stuff regularly, like list new things, that puts you more towards the top.
Yes. Yeah, I'm getting ready to put a bunch of stuff out there.
So when I was doing it, I was listing like a new thing every day. Like instead of like 30 things in one day, I would do one a day and just kind of like constantly adding things.
Mm-hmm.
I think it helped with my views, but wasn't getting many sales from it that weren't people that I sent there to buy it.
Right, right. So let's take a look at this Sycamore Bowl. So there we go. We've got one picture. Now the Comet Bowl, I had two pictures because I wanted to show the bottom, which also showed the other half of the comet, and that was even more of a pronounced image than the inside of the bowl. So some things I'll show both sides. They also have a thing now where, so that's your first step, is getting that picture and putting it there. Then you can take that picture and you can adjust it for the thumbnail that the customer will see before they click on it. They'll see a partial picture of it. You can also have, I'm looking for it here. Oh, you can have a video of it. So I have some items, some vases and stuff that I'm going to be putting on that will have a video of it on a rotating platform. So that's something relatively new. Then you scroll on down and you just, you got to give it the name. They want to know if it's something that you did, which has always been mine. Finished professional, that's me. When did I do it? 2021. That was, right before Christmas was the last time I put anything into Etsy. And then they want a category. And you can start typing into here categories. Like I always type in handmade wooden bowls. And this is the category it puts it in, bowls. So, and that's relatively new too, because they used to have it broken down even more. But I think they're taking everything and kind of putting it into one more condensed categories so more people see things. Materials, I generally don't do that unless it's something very unique, like my pens. Here, I got wood checked. It's pretty obvious from the description, though. Primary color, nothing I have to worry about in my stuff. If you've made something that's good for a specific occasion, like an anniversary or a wedding or something like that, you can choose the occasion here. And then when people are looking for, say, birthday gifts, if you have that occasion listed, then it would come up. Same with holiday. Is it holiday specific? Renewal options, they charge you 20 cents for, I think it's 4 months for the listing. And then if it hasn't sold, you can have it renew automatically. That's another 20 cents. So I just have it all set up on automatic renewal so I don't have to mess with it. And then, of course, you have to let them know if it's a physical item or if it's digital. So if you're selling video and stuff like that, streaming video, you want to select digital. Oh, look at this. I see a mistake in my description. So here's my description. A beautiful sycamore bowl will get the attention of anyone holding it. The bowl measures 4.5 by 1.5 inches, can be used for serving nuts, candy, or put on display for friends and family to see. Finish is buff carnauba wax and is food safe. Very basic description, but I pretty much described the bowl. And I'm going to fix this one thing right here. Boom. So we'll have to save that.
Put your E in there?
I put a space between beautiful and sycamore. Oh, I spelled sycamore wrong too. I left the E off.
It's okay, Jeff. I always fix your spelling mistakes in the emails anyway.
I know. Thank God for you. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, my spell checker catches them, so I don't have to do it. But
yeah.
Yeah, my spell checker I'm married to.
yeah,
I used to have a boss that I worked for. He was like having a 4th grade teacher because all my memos would come back redlined with red marks all over them. Yeah.
And a few rows.
So, yeah. So anyways, as we go down further, pricing, come on. There we go. Pricing. So there's the price of the bowl. And that's a cheap bowl because it's real small. Quantity is pretty much always one. Generally, I'll get into more quantity when I make pens. And I'll maybe make 5 pens out of the same material. So.
And just, so the initial cost to do an ad, it's different than that 20% charge, right? Is there a 20-cent charge?
Yes. Yeah.
What, like,
well, there is no cost to set this up.
there's no cost to place an ad?
No, not at all.
Oh, so you
the cost of the ad is 20 cents for posting it.
okay. And then once you sell, Etsy gets what kind of percentage?
It's really funny. It's very complicated, but it boils down to this bowl that I sold was $90, and they took $3 and something out of it.
Oh, that's not bad, right?
It's based on whether you're using their shipping or not, whether you're using their credit card administrator or not, and what you're charging. So it's numerous different things, and it can be different under different circumstances. It's very complicated, and I don't even try to understand it. I'm just happy that they don't, they fall right about 3% for me.
Okay.
So SKU number. I don't have SKU numbers because I don't have barcodes for stuff. So I just numbered all my items as I put them in, and I got a list of everything. So the next item that's going to go in is probably going to have the number 125 on it or something like that. So, and then I have one of my business cards with a number written on the back of it with that item. So I know which item it is. And then variations, personalizations. I don't mess with any of this stuff. Shipping, I selected free shipping, and in doing this, I went through and selected that it's always going to be United States Postal Service and things like that, because I'll ask you those questions. And then I save that, and that becomes my fixed shipping method. So all I got to do is select crafted by Jeff rather than custom shipping. And if you wanted to use their stuff, there it is. It's the weight, the size of the package, which means your items have to be all boxed up and packaged up and ready to go. If you're doing shows, you can't do that. That's why I chose not to go this route. So, come on. Preview price. So that's basically it. And I got to move us out of the way again.
Did you have any unhappy customers due to the postal service delays or shipping delays?
No, I have not had a delay yet.
Oh, okay.
So I feel very lucky.
Yeah.
I've had more delays getting our gift certificates out from club meetings than I have with products here. So,
Jeff, who did you say the people who handle your shipping are?
pirateship.com. Pirate as an ARG. It's a silly name, but a great service. And the guys on YouTube that do the videos on the best ways to ship and everything, they all name this as the #1 way to get to ship if you're using the post office. And then I went over to Office Max and I bought Avery labels that can be used that prints the labels or prints the shipping labels on, and I just peel it off and stick it on. So. Okay, so that's Etsy in a nutshell. I also set up categories, and let's see. I set up categories so customers can pick on bowls, pens, whatever. I can't remember how to get to my shop from here. Oh, there we go. Crafted by Jeff. There's my shop. And there it is. And over here is the categories. Premier Wood pens, pen and pencil sets, bowls, boxes, tea lights, and many more. So none of this was hard to set up. After you've done 1 or 2 of them, you'll be an expert. because that's really what it took me. I went into this totally blind. Oh, somebody's got something in their chart or cart, so who knows? I may get a sale the next day or two. But you'll also
I
get
keep messing with you.
okay, but you get that. You get people that put stuff in their cart and just never check out.
Yeah.
The gentleman who passed away last year that was making the brass threaded inserts for urns. His Etsy store right now shows a whole bunch of people who have checked things out and who have put stuff in their cart and never checked out. And I was talking to his wife about it. She goes, yeah, we've contacted them to see if they're still interested. And there's no response. So people do that.
Now, I assume
It doesn't lock stuff up, does it?
Yes, I was going to ask too.
What's that?
It doesn't lock stuff up so that
No.
nobody else can buy.
It doesn't. It shows it as one available and it's in a person's cart. But Etsy tells me that it will not stop another person from purchasing it because it wasn't purchased yet.
Gotcha.
Once it's purchased, it disappears from Etsy altogether.
Okay.
Well, as long as they've got it in their cart, it doesn't matter if they don't buy it.
Right, because here I am. I'm looking at this store now as though I'm a customer.
Okay.
So anyways,
Give 'em
that's
some scratches.
kind of Etsy in a nutshell. And like I said, when I feel I got the right amount of information to do this justice, then we'll have a special session just to cover building an Etsy store.
Can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
Is all this stuff on your personal webpage also?
No, I have some gallery images, but I chose for simplicity. I just gave them a button to go right to my store because I just don't have the time to spend. When I built this store, it took me almost 3 weeks to completely build it, partly because it was the first time. The other part was making all the images and editing them so they look good, and then getting them up there and getting every ad built. And you could spend all day on your Etsy store building it and never get down to your shop to make new items. So you got to be careful. Now you can, if you don't have a website, Etsy has a small charge for it, but you can build a website on Etsy. That's actually your store. So that's another way to go.
Well, your website's going to charge you anyway, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, website, I pay, I think it's $125 a year for my website hosting. And I've been with these guys for 20 years. So they're great. They've always been good to me. I've been with them going back to my Magic days. So the business has just changed a bit over the years. So
what were you doing in the early days? Making their money disappear?
yes. I actually used to do a trick where I got, the biggest bill I could from somebody in the audience. And, if I got 100, that just made it even better. And I would just literally, I would fold it up right in front of them and everything and do a little tweak. And the trick is when you do it right and you unfold it, the president's upside down. But there's nothing that they can see that you did or anything. Well, what I did with that is I changed that trick around so that when you open it up, he's upside down, but it's also a dollar bill. Then I give them their dollar bill back and I walk back up and continue on with the show. It drives them nuts. So that's
Sounds like it's more profitable than making bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I always have to go back to them and then I tell them, okay, so I get the dollar bill back from them and I do all the things and it's their $50 or $100 bill again. And I'll go up to them and say, is this a $50 bill that you gave me? They went, oh, they always go, yes. Okay, well, thank you. And I go walk back up to the front and go on and do another trick. And I do that 2 or 3 times before I finally give them the money.
And these days you got a bullet in the back.
Yeah. So anyways, that's Etsy in a nutshell. Any other questions?
Very good, thanks.
Okay. And like I said,
the stuff you have at the top there, the Crafted by Jeff,
yeah.
is that something that you did? You had to build that, or did?
I built that with a separate application, which I don't like it, but at the time, it's it was all that I could do using a free application. There's a lot of applications out there that you do this, but they all want you to buy them or buy a subscription. And some of them are crazy. They're like $30 a month. So
Don't get me started on Photoshop.
yeah.
I can afford it.
Yeah.
Mike, to answer that question,
There's a free one out there called, let me see, paint.net. And with that, it's just like Photoshop, but it's totally free.
that's what they tell you.
I've been using it for my laser for maybe 6 months now.
Yeah, there's some good free stuff out there. Yeah, there's some good free stuff out there. You just got to find it. And you just got to be careful because some stuff will say free, and then when you download it, you find out it's free for 10 days or 15 days, and you know.
So
I think I used Captiva when I made my banner.
Yeah. You can get Photoshop free, but it's like a legacy version. That's what I use.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have any of the modern perks or anything like that, but I use it for editing pictures and basic stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't put on a watermark or anything?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, any other questions on Etsy or PayPal? Okay, next item, and this is right up Ben's alley, but I want to ask, because we know Ben does this, but anybody else experimenting with resin? Either resin casting or resin inlays? I'm kind of something I've been doing for a while.
Does Ben smoke it?
What's that?
Am I what?
Does Ben smoke the stuff?
Well, I hope not.
Honestly, I haven't bought any this year. I've been kind of procrastinating on it, Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
I do still owe you stuff.
Oh, that's all right. You'll get it.
Have you
So
used
what are
the
you carving?
Oh, just fidgeting with a little thing.
Okay.
Have you
I'm
used
kind of teaching myself how to carve. So.
I'm learning. I'm terrible at it.
Me too.
Yeah. So Ben, have you used the Alumilite deep pour yet?
No. So
Yeah.
you want me to do a little spiel on that?
Sure, because I did get the deep pour. This is one item I made, which is a bottle stopper blank.
Okay, so hold on. Let me my notes.
So Ben,
This is where he gets his resin
from. What are you carving, Ben?
Well, it's probably going to be a little. I do worry stones, and they're basically just things you throw in your pocket and you rub or whatever. It's like a little fidget thing.
I'm working on one of those right now, something like that.
Yeah.
A little whale.
I throw them on when I do craft shows. I throw them on my table for $1, and I have a little card that has a little, I guess, cutesy spiel about how you rub your worries into the stone, and then when you get enough worry in it, you throw it in a fire and burn away your worries or stuff like that. And kids like to buy them, and actually parents have bought them, and adults, they give them away at like I don't know, book clubs or something, or they give them as like an extra and a gift.
They make specific ones that I'm trying to learn to do. That's birds and different things, and people with Alzheimer's and so forth use them, and they're called a worry bird or something like that.
Yep.
They also have crosses, a comfort cross.
Yes.
Those are really nice. I've carved a few of those.
Yeah.
I took up carving about 7 years back, and I really miss it because our groups can't get together to carve anymore.
Yeah. I think I would like carving with other people, like, because I'll come down here and like during a meeting, it's okay like this, because I'm sitting here, but I get easily distracted if it's just me sitting here.
Ben, what city do you live in?
Royal Oak.
Yeah, I'm in Royal Oak. Are you coming to the swap meet?
No, it's my daughter's birthday.
Well, then congratulations for her.
You could bring her.
Well, my number, Ben, my number is in the directory. If you want to contact me sometime, we can get together and carve, because I'm in Royal Oak, and on nice days, I've been known to have COVID or not. I've been known to have a couple friends over. We sit out in the patio.
That's cool.
And
Can you turn the lights on?
I'm sorry, what's your name? I can't
Jim
see.
Strohmeyer. Jim Strohmeyer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been wood carving for a few years now. As a matter of fact, I'm the treasurer of the Metro Carvers of Michigan.
Ah, okay.
And we have had absolutely no meetings since all the lockdown. I love that you guys are doing the Zoom, and I have no idea how to set up Zoom meetings, but I think I need to start doing that.
Right.
It's really not hard. You know, thank God that we have Matt Harbor and Chuck Labato, because the two of those really helped me get this going. Because last year when the shutdown happened, it happened 1 week before our March meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a week to figure it out. And Chuck says, just let me run with it. We'll get a meeting going. And then he got it going. And then after that, I started exploring other avenues of it. And, you know, he helped me get a package set up for the club and everything like that. So.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
You were talking about that bird.
There you go. That's it, Alfred.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I did. You can actually get the copy for this from the internet.
Yep, I've made a few.
Yeah. This is called a comfort bird, and they give it to the people that are bedridden, and they kind of play with it. It kind of makes them feel better, you know.
Yeah.
I
sold one to a lady who had like a bird collection at a craft show.
Oh, that's nice.
Ah.
Yeah, this is made out of sycamore.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was just reading in a book, one of the characters was like a 4-year-old kid, and his mother had given him a worry stone. And it was just funny. The mother said, whenever you're concerned about something, rub this. But don't do it in your pocket. Otherwise, people think you're paying pocket for it.
I liked it.
I just cracked up.
All right. So what do you want me to talk about resin, Jeff?
Well, I was more curious to see if anybody was experimenting with it. Because like I said, I've used it. You've all seen the couple of pieces that I did where I use it to fill in gaps and stuff and cracks.
So
I tried filling in I was gonna say I tried filling in a crack the other day, but I had to go back and mix it a little bit more and add a little bit more color to it because it didn't flow through. Paul told me I should have just warmed it up a little bit with a hairdryer or the heat gun. Just a little bit of warmth would have made it flow a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I haven't put it back on the lathe right now. It's all lumpy. I think I'm gonna have to hit it with my Dremel or something first and grind some of the lumps off.
Yeah. Sometimes when you pour in those cracks, you find out that there's a big opening on the inside, and it takes a lot more resin than you planned for.
Crack all the way through. So
yeah.
I've got a question about color in resin. A lot of times when I've worked with resin, I've put some color in it, and the color is the same throughout. And what I would like is something like, for lack of a better term, like Northern Lights, where you have streaks of color. I don't know how to get the streaks in there.
There's a lot of good videos on out there. A lot of the people that do that, they're mixing up, little cups of different colored resin, and they're using a thermometer, a digital thermometer, to keep track of the temperature. And when the temperature gets warmer, it starts getting more solidified, and then they'll pour them in individually and create those streaks themselves. That's one way. Another way is they'll pour them in. Usually with two colors, and they'll take an object, being a paper clip or a popsicle stick or something like that, and wave that through to create patterns. So that's the two ways I've seen people doing it.
It's pretty hard if you're trying to fill a crack. To get multiple colors to look nice, unless it's a big crack. But just pouring out of 2 cups, like side by side, into it you'll get 2 colors. It gets harder when you're trying to carry like 3 or 4 cups.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do
there's ways
something
around
like
that.
I think if you're going to do something like a crack, like on the crack I did on my vase, I wanted that red, but I wanted you to be able to see through it. So I just went with alcohol dye. But on other items, I've used mica powder.
Yeah.
And matter of fact,
Okay.
let me spotlight myself. There we go. This is a bottle stopper blank that I made with orange and yellow mica powder. And what happens is the mica powders won't mix together. They stay separated and suspended
Lies.
in the
They
solution.
will mix.
Huh?
They will mix.
But
I mean,
you see them individually still.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
if you stir them enough, they'll mix.
yeah. So this is stirred a lot, then poured in, and this is Alumalite's new deep pour resin. So I didn't have to put it in a pressure pot because I don't have one. But it takes about 3 days for it to fully cure.
I was going to ask you, how fast did it kick over to where it was setting up?
It was a good 20 minutes before it started really thickening up.
Yeah.
Do you wait until it's starting to thicken before you?
In this case, I didn't. I just mixed it up and poured it into the mold.
Okay.
So if you want them to stay more separate colors, the longer you wait, the more separation you're going to get.
Yeah.
But also, the longer you wait, the more you risk it turning into a gooey blob before you can pour it.
Yeah. Once it starts thickening up, you got a very limited time frame, and it's different for different types of resins. Both Alumalite and Total Boat, though, you can contact them. You can call them up, and they'll tell you what temperature to look for. I got the deep pour, and it's a 2-to-1, and I called them up and asked them how I could measure that out in grams. I thought it would just be easier to do it by weight, and they told me what the gram ratio was, which was 45 to 100, so 45% hardener. So made it a little easier.
The clear slow, which is what I use, you have to do by weight.
Yep.
But it also, you need it to get it in a pressure pot in 12 minutes or less than 12 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
hey Ben, I have a job for you.
Okay.
See this? This is a cap on a burr.
I can't see it. Jeff has himself spotlighted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get Alfred spotlighted. Let me find him real quick. Oh, there he is. Hold on, Alfred. I'm almost there. There we go. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. This is a cap of a burr. And as you see, there's a crack right through it here. And this would be the other side. And I'm trying to find a way how to fill that. Most probably would have to be done from the back.
Yeah.
And this is okay up here. The crack is only down here. The rest is fine. I don't want to turn it. I'm afraid if I'm going to turn it, it's going to separate and blow out. So,
yeah. So you don't want to fill up that whole cavity. You just want the crack filled.
Yeah, I just want to fill, and not because this is going to be a wall sculpture. So this is going to be against the wall anyway. This is the front that's going to show.
Okay.
I'll show you the sister of this in a minute. So I just want to fill enough back here that it will fill this. So when I'm turning, I have something that is solid, and at the same time, it's not going to blow out, while I'm turning it. Because I want to do something on here, and this will be all overhanging here. So this is a sister. I have another one that's on the wall. Let me see if I can turn the computer to show you guys. This would be the other one.
Oh.
Well, it's not really showing good, but there's a lot of carving and stuff in it, and that's what I want to do with that one.
Okay.
Still not showing good, but the light is not that good.
Yeah. So, well, we can see it though. It looks great.
Yeah. So that's what I'm looking for eventually. I thought maybe when things get better, when we were more free, maybe Ben can give me a hand with it, and I don't even know what color to use or, you know, what kind of resin to use. I mean, some of this I can see right through it here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that it's gonna blow out.
Well, the fact that you got that flat bottom on it,
Yeah.
that makes it real easy to seal up. That's good.
Yes.
So Alfred, I'm going to tell you, Alumilite Deep Pour
Yeah.
is the resin
Aluminite?
you want for that.
Okay.
It's an epoxy resin. It's a little more tolerant of water than a urethane, and you don't need a pressure pot. And if you buy some, you can come over whenever you want, and we can pour it because we can do it outside, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Okay. How
And
much
I
would
have
How much would I need for that?
Quart.
About
Which
a quart.
Well, the quart is the smallest one they sell, I believe,
Yeah.
and it's about
Which I think is like
$40.
$60. Is it
No, it's
40?
40. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I just
So-
got some. Yeah.
Is
A
that a
gallon
part
is like
A and part
180 or
B?
something.
What's
It's a
that?
part A, part B, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say a quart, do you get half a gallon, 2 quarts, or do you get a quart between part
You
A
get
and
2
part
quarts. You get 2 quarts,
Yeah.
part A and part B.
B? Oh, okay. So you
Yeah,
get
but
And it's a 2-to-1 mixing ratio,
okay.
yeah,
or
one is
100
smaller.
grams and 45 grams of hardener.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I
Yeah.
personally haven't never used that, but that's their newest resin they came out with last summer that is specifically for stuff like that.
Oh, that would be
Because
good.
it's thinner?
I know it's
Um,
dry. It's completely dry. I've had this for a while.
Completely
And,
dry isn't completely dry, like depending. Like when I use mine, if I do wood, I have to bake the wood for about 4 or 5 hours.
You have to do what?
I have to bake the wood.
Bake it. Well, this is about 7% humidity.
Yeah. See, with my resin, that wouldn't work. Like even 7% is too much water in a urethane. It'll react with it.
Oh, is that right?
But with the epoxy, that should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you bake that? In an oven?
Yeah.
Wait till
if
your
you-
wife is out and put it
Yeah.
in the oven?
and you got to watch it so it doesn't catch on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What are you
Most
baking at,
people
about
that-
200?
Yeah, most people do them in like a smoker outside, just in the middle of the driveway. So if it does catch on fire, your smoker's a loss, but you don't lose, your house.
Yeah.
So yeah, but in your oven, if you were paying attention, you'd be okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have seen people working with epoxy like Deep Pour, and they're coloring it with acrylic paint, and that
Really?
seems to work. So, so it is much more tolerable.
Yeah. I would. You would have all the colors you'd ever want if you came over, Alfred. So.
Oh, I know. So yeah, one of these days when it gets a bit warmer, maybe, and things starts opening up.
Yeah.
You tell me what to buy, where to buy it from, and we go from there.
Okay. No problem.
Thanks.
It definitely will need to be warmer. I think it has to be like 60 or 70 for it to start curing.
Okay.
Good. It's curing good, I guess.
Yeah, I'm talking warmer and better, for us for this COVID thing,
hmm
So I am vaccinated. I don't know if you are yet.
Yeah, I am too fully now.
Oh, that's
so.
good.
Yeah, last Monday was my 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
So
Yeah, I think Deep Pour, if I remember right, it's about 125 degrees. It's when it started thickening.
yeah.
Okay.
But for something like Alfred's, we'd probably pour it earlier,
hmm
just so it would go in that crack when it's really thin.
Yeah, definitely.
Good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I've got the same situation with a Koa Bowl. I picked up a big piece of Koa when I was in Hawaii last year. And when I turned it into bowl shape, I had a big piece of rot on one side. And I was heartbroken, but I stuck it in the bag and I've let it dry. And now that rot has shrunk down. And so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put some resin in around it or take that rot out, clean it, and fill in that whole area with resin. And then I get into the whole thing, color. What do I want to do with color? Do I want to go with a bronze so it gets real close to the color of you know, the Koa or what. So I've got to figure that out.
Like a emerald blue,
Emerald blue.
like a turquoise blue, something really poppy with Koa.
Yeah.
If it was me.
You know what I noticed too is sometimes when you're trying to match a color, it's better if you put a completely different color to make sure that people see it and say he's trying to make it look better, not trying to hide the fault.
Yeah.
You're trying to accentuate the fault, actually. So, you know, when I did those zipper vases, I did one red and one blue purposely. The person who actually has them, the person bought both of them at the same. First, he bought the red one, and then he wanted a bigger one. And I said, if they're gonna be next to each other, there's no way I'm gonna be able to match the color exactly because I mixed the color. So I went with a completely different color, and that one will it's different, but at the same time, one will complement the other color. That's why I went with two different colors. If I try to make the second one red and it's just a shade off, it will look like hell. You know, it won't look good.
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed. Even when I have faults in wood, if I try to make it look like it's part of the wood and it doesn't work, it's gonna be an eyesore.
Yeah.
But if I accentuate that fault, it looks like I did that purposely, and it's gonna look a lot better.
Yeah.
That's
well,
what I found out.
I'm not going to rush into this, and I will probably, even at one of our talks, pull the bowl out and we all take a look at it and see if we can come up with some ideas on color and stuff like that.
There you go.
So I'd pull it out tonight, except it's buried way deep underneath some stuff because I've been moving things around in the shop. I've got like 5 projects going at once, and I'm trying to figure out how to get them all done. So, but
yeah, I just finished
Jeff,
that project, in fact.
Do you have a pressure pot, either one of you, or anybody?
I do.
Ben does. I
How
don't.
big is yours, Ben?
Well, my biggest one fits a 5-gallon, but it doesn't work. So my biggest is a 2.5-gallon. It works.
Is that a Harbor Freight one, the 2.5?
Yes. Well, yeah. I have a couple 2.5-gallon ones. One's a Harbor Freight. One I gave to Chris Miller, which is a California Tools, I think. And then I have a Binks one.
The 5-gallon one from is that from Woodcraft?
No, the 5-gallon one I got from work. They were throwing it out because it got too dirty because somebody didn't clean it and stuff hardened. And I was like, well, I'm going to try and clean that, and I haven't ever got around to it.
Because I was thinking of getting something large. The Harbor Freight one seemed a little small.
Yeah, the thing about large is that pressure pot is probably $2,000 to buy it new. They are not cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that California Air is about 500, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's still only a 2.5-gallon, I think. I don't think it's 500. I think it's 2.
I thought the 5-gallon one at Woodcraft that they had advertised a couple months ago, it was on sale, was like $200.
Not for a 5-gallon one, no. I could almost guarantee that. Like just the Harbor Freight, whatever, 2.25, 2.5 is $100. So if you're buying a California Air Tools one, I think that's what Woodcraft sells. I think that was probably a 2.5-gallon one.
Okay, thank you.
And it looks like a 5-gallon bucket, but the inside is what? The actual physical thing is about the size of a 5-gallon pail.
Do you find you ever need anything bigger, or for the most part?
I want to say I would. There were times when having something bigger would have helped. I've done a few casts where I didn't put it in the pressure pot because it wouldn't fit, and that's always risky. but that was before I was using Alumilite, and I know now I have to put it in a pressure pot or I don't use it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna try the deep pour this year. I think that's what I'm planning on ordering, just to give it a try this summer. And then I'm gonna do a few bigger burl pieces that I've been saving.
I picked up a U root ball. I want to try. I got to pressure wash it and get rid of all the dirt and stones and everything. But I wanted to put that in a pot and maybe make a hollow form or something out of that.
Yeah, if you can turn it down to a small enough diameter to fit in your pot, and save you some resin or whatever, that's a better idea.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, why do you want to put it? Why do you put resin on it? Why can't you turn it the way it is?
I don't like turning negative space.
Well,
I
Now
don't
you're in
like
trouble,
turning
Mike.
air.
huh?
You should watch some
I'm not
Alfred.
good with turning air.
You should watch some Alfred Totto videos. He terrifies me when he because he turns stuff like that, and he turns
Well,
it fast.
let me just show you one. Let me bring it. The one I just turned. It was a root ball. No, that's why I'm asking, because it's so nice when it's in natural state, and you're gonna put resin on it. You're gonna incorporate stuff that really doesn't belong there. Let me get it.
What belongs there, Alfred?
Now this is okay.
That would scare the hell out of me.
Well, you know what? It doesn't
Face
have
shields are
to.
for.
Well, you just have to take the necessary precautions.
Yeah, like don't turn it.
Come on.
Full body armor.
This was actually, it was a fruit tree in front of the house, but my wife didn't like it there because we had too many trees, so I took it down. But the only thing that's holding it together is bark. I'm surprised it held together. Look, all this is all bark here. And also it has a lot of bird's eye in it. But what I did, I turned it wet. And when I turned it wet, it stayed all together. And then I let it dry on its own. And this is what it did.
You didn't wrap it or anything when you were turning it?
Nothing. I just turned it.
Wow.
And I also finished the inside. You know, the inside is pretty smooth too. I don't know if I can, let me see. Yeah.
Oh, there
You
we
can
go.
see it
Yep.
there. Yeah. It's pretty smooth on the inside. And then I didn't want any shine on it, so I just put oil. But you know, that's what I mean. Can you imagine if I put resin on all this? It wouldn't look nice, would it?
Yeah, but my shorts would be nice.
Well, okay, don't wear any.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
Looks
The
good,
piece
Alfred.
the piece that's sticking out on that, has that moved out since you turned it, or was that
Yes.
like that?
No, when I turned it, even the top was completely round.
Okay.
And because I turned it as soon as I got it out of the ground, I turned it. So I turned inside and outside everything in one day.
Uh-huh.
And then I packed it in sawdust, you know, in shavings, and I let it dry by itself. I put oil on it right away so as to, I didn't think it was gonna crack because it almost looks like a burr. There is no grain direction. It's going all over.
Yeah.
So I wasn't, you know, I didn't think it was gonna crack, but I just wanted to dry slowly. And as it was drying, this is what it did.
Oh.
It moved all over.
Yeah.
Even here, I don't know how up here you can barely see it. Where am I? Okay, here. This piece that was turned and it stayed like that. Look how thin
Wow.
that is. Yeah. So that's what I mean. You know, just go for it. If you want, what I would do if I was going to have problems with this, I would get that saran wrap or even duct tape and just put duct tape around it or that saran wrap. You'll be surprised how strong that saran wrap is.
Yeah.
And go for it. If it blows, it blows. At least it's not going to hit you. It's going to stay there because it's all wrapped.
Well, the piece
So-
I got, the guy had it out of the ground for probably a year.
Okay. Yeah, but
So-
if it's still whole together, it's not. It's still very wet. You know.
Well, I'm gonna have to pressure wash the dirt off and everything and see what I have.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's it's nice to try it. You know, I mean, but it has so very nice. Maybe here you can see it. You can see it. It looks like it's. I know it's not bird's eye, but it looks like it's bird's eye, and
Right.
that's why I just put oil on it. I just wanted to stay all natural.
Yeah.
So,
It's a beautiful piece. It
yeah.
really is.
Even when it stands, I can show it to you. But when it stands, it actually leans
Oh,
to one side.
cool.
So yeah.
You
so
couldn't
that's it.
sand any of that on the lathe, could you?
Actually, there's very little sanding on that. Mostly it's tool work. You know,
Okay.
shear scraping with a bowl gouge, you know, very high
Right.
angle. But that's how I did most of that. And the other thing that I did this week, I did this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We did,
Is that with the balloon?
yeah, that's with the balloon, and it's actually very, very thin.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I put gold on the bowl, around the bowl here and around the edge. And yeah, I really didn't want to color this piece. This is a piece of beech, but I think it came up pretty decent.
Yeah, most
So,
definitely.
Yeah. So that's what I did this week. I'll show that at the next meeting, most probably, when we have the
Okay.
general meeting.
Okay, sounds good. So is there anything else we want to talk about on resin? I think we kind of covered it. Okay, I've got some more stuff coming up that I'm going to be trying some resin out on for filling in things, and I'll be posting that on Facebook as I do it, like normally. Here's another question I got. You know, as you all know, we're looking for a new home. We've got some prospects. We've looked at a couple locations. I've got a third one that I've got to look at yet, and I keep playing telephone tag with this person. But when we're back meeting face to face again, is there anything new that you guys would like to see with the club? Anything new that we haven't done before or we haven't done in a long time? I figure, you know, we sat here for almost 2 years now and not having a face-to-face meeting and
Yeah.
in a face-to-face workshop. You know, I got to think that somebody's thinking, boy, I would like to have this and I'd like to have that. So that's why I thought I'd ask.
I would like to do another program like we have done in the past where we showcase 4 or 5 or 6 different methods of doing different things. Like, you know, we did the one, we did something different.
Oh, the walk around.
The walk around. Steve
Yeah.
Rohr did his oils or whatever, his mixed color thing. Where he did thing, and somebody else did something else, and somebody did something else. And you
I did the coloring.
Right, that's correct. Yes, you did the
Yeah.
coloring.
I
I
was
would like to see more things like that now.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that because you have, it's more like a hands-on than it's a
Yes.
demo. A demo, you're just sitting down, but when you go, you know, like 10, 15, 20 people around a person that's actually doing, it's more of a hands-on where it's like a workshop,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yes, I find doing that very enjoyable, and I get a lot out of those things. And like,
Okay.
it doesn't even have to be like the one lady, Sandy Dorn. She's an outstanding wood carver.
Yep.
And I would
Yes,
like to
she is.
see her, or I see this Jim Strohmeyer says he's a carver. Somebody just demonstrating stuff like that to kind of pique everybody's interest, or something you could incorporate into something you're
Yeah.
turning, or something else you're doing.
Well, that's actually something I thought about last year before the shutdown. I thought it would be good to have a Sunday thing again to do a walk around like that. Not necessarily different ways of doing the same thing, but different things.
Different things,
People who are really good at specific things.
That's what
Like
I'm talking about.
Sandy's great at carving.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
you
had
know.
talked about that, remember, Jeff?
Yeah.
And then hell broke loose, and we kind of lost track of it.
Yeah, so that's a very good idea, and that is definitely going to be on the docket.
If you like to walk around, Jeff, just a heads up, our wood carving club normally has a wood carving show in March over in Madison Heights. Of course, it's been canceled for the last 2 Marches, but we have a contract now, and we are scheduled for the 3rd weekend in October. So I'll be getting some flyers out and stuff like that on it. And so anybody that's interested in seeing some interesting carvings,
Okay.
definitely
Well,
come look at it.
went.
And a couple of the categories that we have available for some of our demonstrations involve wood turning or wood turning with carvings, combination of the two. So it would be, I'm going to talk to the folks. I think we might even be able to get you some information about possibly some of you folks might even want to get a table that you can, just get a table. They're fairly inexpensive, where you can actually demonstrate, show, and sell some of your stuff. We don't want to take it over with turning, obviously, but it's a nice, fun 2-day event.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I went to that. So I think the last year that they had a live event, my cousin is a carver, and he took me to that with him, and I was, in fact, he was a little ticked off. I knew more people than he did that were there, but
Yeah.
Hey,
real quickly,
was,
to interrupt real quickly, Ken Kernicki had put his hand up. Did you have a question, Ken?
No, Jeff, all I wanted to say was I had been part of the Metro Carvers probably 35 years ago when they met at, I think it was Helen Keller School.
Okay.
It's quite a long time back. And yeah, awesome organization, awesome group. Then I had kids, and that put the end of that. So, but the thing I was going to tell you is I think we nicknamed that the round robin, where we did the multiple workshops, whatever.
yeah, that's what we did. Red Robin.
Round
You're
robin
right.
or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's I'm very very positive on that. I think that was awesome.
Well, I am too, and I definitely want to see more than just one a year too. Doing more often.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
I'm
that would
set
be
myself up now.
okay. I think that would be very good. Thank you, Dave, and that's a very good idea. One thing I want to see is some way for, once we get into a new home, some way for the club to make some money, either in teaching wood turning or selling items that members have made, where the club gets a cut and the member gets the rest. Want to look at different things like that too, because we're looking at becoming a 501c, which gives us some definite benefits for grants and so on. But wherever we end up at, it's going to probably cost us more than it did at Pontiac Creative Arts Center. So I think we got to have another source of income of some sort besides just memberships. So that's something that I want to explore with the board to see what we can do there.
Hey, Jeff, I think it all depends of where we're going to land,
Yes.
what the facility is, what we can do with the facility.
Yep.
As we have already talked, it depends whether we can have both the workshops and the general meeting at the same location.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions that we can't really answer at the moment because we don't know what we're working with.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. Yep, I
Yeah.
totally agree. That's why I said I would like it.
Yes, definitely.
So
I had a question for Jim. Jim, do you have a place where you meet for your wood carving for the club or?
Well, we had several places. We used to, it was an individual, like it'll just drop in carving groups that would do it. We used to have a monthly meeting over at Lampier High School. Of course, that's all locked down now. And we don't have a new location. And our meetings were in the evening. And so a lot of the problems, some of the people just had trouble because they couldn't drive at night.
Okay.
And so that was an issue just because of age and not be able to drive. So we're looking for a place, but we do have some drop-in locations where people can go. One is over in Washington Township at their little community center, at their township offices. And I think it's like Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, people can just sort of a drop in. Right now you get to call and let them know that you're coming. But you call their office and let them know that you're planning on coming because they have a limited number of people. But, I found that we were meeting with a group over in Troy. And the first time I walked in the door, they started razzing and teasing me. I was a brand new carver, and I thought, they don't even know me, and they're already ripping on me. I said, I'm in the right place.
Good one.
And so we like to, we tease each other, we help each other, we chit chat, we do whatever. But it's teaching each other a whole lot also. And yes, Sandy Dorn is extremely good as a carver. She does some exquisite flowers and stuff like that. She'll actually build up and carve in individual pieces and merge them all together, and then use inks to color and dyes to color them, and they're just beautiful. And then of course she turns a vase and basket weave carves it on top of the turning. So she really enjoys it. Some of her carving and turning things I think are a bit over the top, maybe. Like look at it and go, well, but she has fun with it.
Yeah.
And but she's an excellent carver and a very good instructor on it too. At certain levels, she works with me quite a bit on some of the pieces I've done and helps me refine them and get them to where they need to be.
Well, the Waterford Senior Center has always had a group that met one morning a week that was carvers, and they had 8 to 10 people, but it's been closed. But I've just heard that it's reopened, so I'll have to check and see if their carving group still gets together, because they were a nice group of people, and there was only a few of them.
Yeah, you can go to our website, Metro Carvers of Michigan. You can look at our website, and we have a little list on there of the carving groups and when and where they meet. Of course, that hasn't been updated with all the lockdown results, but there are some contacts and stuff like that you could check out, or anybody can always contact me and I can look it up to see what's available. And as I say, if you're in the Royal Oak area, from time to time, I just have a couple friends drop in because it's nice out and we got to have a chance to get together and have a bit of fellowship.
Yeah. That's the one thing I miss the most with this pandemic.
I miss it tremendously.
Yeah.
That's why I think Saturday is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
I know Chuck has talked about having like a campfire spoon carving day because he wants to get into it too a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So he said something to me one time about just, maybe getting a group some night around a campfire or whatever and just kind of basically shooting the shit and making a spoon.
Yeah.
You can't have Chuck drink his bourbon when he's doing the
Well, I mean, it's his finger. I don't care.
Yeah, that would probably go over well because there's a lot of carvers in southeastern Michigan.
Yeah.
Whole lot.
There are, and we have a very big pent up demand for the carving show, and so we came out and just notified people that were looking at it and the possibility of having one, and the feedback that we were getting right away was, yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
People are excited about the opportunity, and we're one group out of the state of Michigan, so there's others throughout the whole area. other, carving groups and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have an excellent carver in our group too, Henry Morgan. He is the guy who does the website. He is a phenomenal carver. I mean, some of his carvings are exceptional. He's trying to teach me, but we're actually trading. I'm helping him with the turning. He's helping me with the carving, but he's getting a lot more ahead with him turning than me with the carving.
Yeah. Someday I'll get a chance. Maybe I'll have to one of our talks or chats or something like that. I'll have to show pictures of a couple of the pieces that I've carved and stuff like just to add a little fun to it. And not everything you carve works out the way you want. So crazy glue is a good friend.
Not everything you turn works out the way you want it to.
What, you're gluing them back together? Oh man.
Well, if I might take a moment, when I lived in Northern Virginia, we had a wood turning club in the Northern Virginia, along with our wood carving group. And later on, we ended up picking up a metal spinning group. And we all had a picnic together. And what would happen is they would break off in their own corners of the grounds that we had, and we're doing demonstrations, some people, and that let everybody wander around to see what was going on. And then a lot of the women had a contest on cookies and stuff like that, and to raise money and pies for their own club. Basically, the carvers and the wood turners, they would auction off baked goods, sell cookies, but it was just a big picnic, and it usually lasted, well, from about 11 in the morning when people would arrive, and there was set up ahead of that, and then all the way through a campfire at night, because we rented a section in a park. But it was highly successful for increasing membership. Seriously increasing membership. And then we had cross meetings where we would attend each other's, where as wood turners, we would have a challenge like we do in our own group, but you'd turn a bowl or a vase, but it had to be left thicker because it was going to go to the carvers to make art out of it, quote, end quote. And then it went to the people, some other people who were doing painting, because that's what they liked, the painting by dots and numbers and stuff. But then they would work on it. And before we do it, we had increased our quarterly meetings. We all met together for quarterly meetings, and we were having over 300 to 350 people, to where we couldn't meet in the park anymore because we were too big for the little corner of the park. But it was all people who liked what the other did, admired what they did, but they still were able to get together and build off each other. And the clubs grew in both dimensions between the carvers and the turners. You know, it's a great symbiosis that we can do.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're all working with wood. There's, I mean, we're all in the boat together.
First couple of pieces I carved, I tried painting them, and I told my wife, it just looks like I dunked it. She said, well, take a painting class. So she signed me up. So until we got locked down, I was taking painting classes and actually doing quite nice with some of the pieces I was carving. There's just different techniques and working with acrylics and stuff like that, and enjoying it.
Yeah. My neighbor, Jim, I don't know if you met him or not, Jim, when you were over here. But he's an amazing carver. He's not a member of any club or anything, but he's just an absolutely amazing carver. And I'm going to be helping him set up an Etsy store. And that might be the store that I use on one of my meetings to show everybody how to do it. But he does everything from little figurines, and he's got a guitar body that he's carving the eagle's head into. That's just unbelievable, you know. So
We actually had one of the gentlemen that we were carving with over at Troy. He's actually made a couple of violins.
Mm.
I mean, complete, from scratch, and they're playable.
Nice.
Well, was it Paul Newberger and
Ray.
what's his
Ray.
name? Ray.
Ray.
I did a banjo and a guitar.
Yeah. Didn't they go to a class or something for that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just reading the other day that since the pandemic started, that people interested in making musical instruments has skyrocketed, especially guitars. People are taking all kinds of classes on making guitars, and which I find cool because in '91 I made my own guitar. I had to have a different guitar for every sound I wanted to do, and I sat down for about a year and ended up designing one that did everything I wanted to do with just one machine. It sets up in the closet now, but I find it cool that people want to do things like make musical instruments.
I've been looking into making some tongue drums.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And the variety of things with carving is just, it's astonishing.
Yeah.
You got one gentleman in the club, and he's large, and he's got these massive hands, and nearly everything he does is little itsy bitsy things in little 2-inch bottles. He'll do a whole Christmas scene inside a little tiny bottle. And he puts those all in there and has it all rigged up so it'll stand up and flip in just right and glue it up and all painted, and they have little presents and everything else in their trees, and they're just great fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
You were talking about different things for meetings.
Yeah.
One of the things that we did once that I remember, and I don't think it was the whole demo, but we had people show different jigs and fixtures that they used in doing the things they did. And I thought that was really interesting. That's where I learned about the Longworth chuck, and where I ended up making one. It's things like that help different turners learn different things.
That's actually a very good idea. I like that. I do like that.
Because we all have our favorite jig or fixture or our favorite thing to make, and we have different ideas on how to make them.
Right.
Different work holding techniques.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a very good idea. Because, I watch a lot of videos online, and I see guys that have made fluting jigs, rather than going out and buying the expensive ones. And some of them, you look at it going, that looks like the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. But they do amazing work with it.
Yeah.
I've seen some really interesting jigs out there that people have created. So, I think it's
Jeff, if you want to highlight me for a second.
Okay.
Wow,
it looks just like you.
Doesn't he?
Okay, hold on. I've lost you. There you are.
Basswood
Look at that.
Okay.
Says
Sherlock Holmes, right?
From a rough out.
Is that a Sherlock Holmes?
Pardon me?
No,
Is that who's that?
No, that's
Sherlock
that
Holmes?
old New England fisherman.
Yeah, fisherman or lighthouse keeper.
Yes.
And so one of my friends suggested, looking to do a base for it. She suggested make it look like a pier.
Yeah.
Like a dock piling.
That's fantastic.
Complements it beautifully.
The piece is
wow.
So that's when you learn how to mix and do colors, it helps. And it was huge number of hours and weeks and months of work. And here's another one that I did that was just kind of fun. I got the little rough out, and originally the rough out had the little turtle wearing flip-flops, but I took those off and just carved it so he's got 1 foot up in the air, and there's a little knob on the back from where they were doing the rough out.
Yeah.
The machine rough out, and I left it on and carved it into a snail.
Nice.
Is that one piece, Jim?
Pardon me?
Is that one piece?
That's all one piece.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
The only thing added on is I've got a couple of little pins that I put in for and bent for little antenna for the
Okay,
snail.
for the snail, yeah.
And I even have the one plate. Actually,
The Michigan?
looks like Michigan.
Yeah,
All of
like
a
it.
sudden, I saw Michigan on there, and I thought, oh yeah, a little bit of work, and it made me laugh, so I had to do it. And I just call it another fine adventure because they're just off having a jolly old time.
Yeah.
yeah. Beautiful work.
But it's a matter of having fun with it.
Well, that's the secret. Yeah. You got to have fun with it. If it becomes a job, then it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, that's why I tell people about wood turning. Enjoy it, or else you're gonna hate it, and you're gonna get hurt because it's not fun anymore.
Right.
I'm finding with my turning, it's like, if it's, I did a little lesson with Paul this morning for a couple hours, but after we were done, by the time I came in, and it was getting chilly out of and damp out of my garage again. I said, that's it, I'm kind of done for the day. So I figured it was nap time.
Yeah.
But I'm not a real cold weather fan, so trying to do that in the super cold is just not my idea of a fun thing.
You
to
said
do.
you were with Paul this morning. Is that Paul Schultz?
No, Paul Zirkle.
Newberger? Oh, Zirkle.
Zir-
Oh, Paul Zirkle. Yes.
So I've been taking
Okay.
some lessons from Paul,
Okay.
and so he showed me a couple things that he said he wanted me to practice on it all day long. Well,
Yeah.
so I developed some muscle memory, but my muscle memory wound up going into the letter Z.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he is right. Turning is all practice. It's like everything else. You just practice, because when you start turning, you're always thinking, oh, I have to go, with the 45 and the feet, shoulder width and all that. Once you start turning and then you start making bowls and bowls and bowls, everything comes so natural. It's like when you started carving, Jim, in the beginning, everybody was telling you how to hold so that you don't cut your finger, you're always pulling it away from you and all that. Now you do it automatically. You don't have to think about that. And turning is the same thing. It's just practice. You do it for so long that it comes natural. And then after you build, you have about 50 or 60 bowls, then you get so fed up of turning bowls, then you want to do something with them. You want to decorate them then. And that's when you start going into a different level, decorating, carving, painting, and stuff like that. That's where your carving comes in then.
And right now I'm just at the point where I'm just now starting to finish a couple of the first bowls that I worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still learning that a whole lot. I've got a cherry piece that I'm working on right now.
Okay. Well, that looks nice.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
I
Very
love
nice.
cherry. Cherry's a great wood.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was actually from a old cherry tree that's down at a campground, and it had been cut up and just left to lay there. So
Yeah.
I grabbed a couple pieces from it and turning it. So it's so I'm learning how to sand it and finish it. It's got a ways to go, but I put this together and I've got it really nicely balanced out.
Yeah, I like your sapwood and the hardwood there.
Yeah, a little bit of sapwood, a little bit of hardwood. So
Yeah.
I think when I get it finished out, that's going to be my challenge.
Yeah.
Of course, the challenge is to get it finished that it actually looks like something and not like
Well,
sawdust.
it already looks nice. I mean,
Yeah.
come
Yeah,
on.
just put finish on and leave it.
That's it. Jim, a couple of 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a workshop about sanding, and I think we have a video on that, Jeff.
We
don't
do. Yes,
Yeah.
it's up on our website.
I
Our
don't,
YouTube channel.
I don't know if you were present for that workshop, but
I saw it. I had to go back and look at it later.
okay. So I did. I gave some tips on how to, sand and prepare the wood for the finish. From
Yeah,
sanding.
and I still have a little bit of cleanup and work to do it and get the bottom cleaned up because it's still rough turned. So I
Okay.
got to finish up the inside and outside, and it'll be done.
Yeah, you know what, Jim? That bowl that you just did there, that's harder than a regular bowl because you have the walls that are straight and then at the bottom it's more or less flat. That is harder to do than when you're doing a regular bowl, which is half a circle.
Yeah, Paul told me I should have put more of a taper on it, but it just wanted to do that. So
yeah. No, I mean it's good to try different stuff, but
Yeah.
don't kid yourself. You did very well in that bowl. You know, for being a newer turner, you're
Mhm.
doing really good. So you know, just finish it. Put
Keep
some,
it up.
yeah, and put it on the show and tell for next.
And I figure if nothing else, I can spin it and put a rasp up against it and just.
No.
No, that's a good piece.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, I mean with some of the
Good
other pieces
piece.
I'm looking at going, I can always just kind of I can work it with the rasp or something like that and fake it.
No.
No, not this one, but you know.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a question, since you said that was cherry. Has anybody ever put lye on their cherry to darken it?
I do.
I have had a problem with white powder coming up weeks and months after I have finished the bowl. That's put the lye on, I wash it with vinegar to neutralize it, and then I'll let that all dry, and I'll put a polyurethane on, and then a white powder seems to come up. Am I
What
doing
is-
something wrong?
What is the mixture that you're doing of lye with water?
I don't know. I just pour the lye into the water, and that's
Okay.
it. I haven't measured.
The maximum you can put is 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces of water. If you put any more than that, that's what's going to happen. It's like an effervescent. It's like the calcium coming out of limestone. It's the same thing. That's what's happening.
Well, I know that when I first mix it, the container gets really, really hot.
You're putting too much lye. That's
Okay.
that's your problem. I'll show you a bowl that I did, and when I do them, I put 8 ounces of lye. You have to make sure it's pure 100% lye, and I get it from Ace, and I just mix it with water. It gets a bit warm, but that's about it. I paint it, and I actually saturate it, and then I leave it to dry. I know you're supposed to use vinegar and water to neutralize it. I never do, and I don't have any problems. I think,
Okay.
Mike, your problem is you're using too much lye. And there
Well,
is a
that could
story.
very well be.
There's a story when you use too much lye. A group of us were doing something like that, and one of the guys put too much lye, and when he put the paintbrush in and the mixture there, when he went to use it, he pulled the paintbrush and there was no hair left. All the hair was eaten, because that's what the lye is supposed to do. You know, it's
Yeah.
a drain cleaner.
Right.
So let me bring the piece that I want to show you.
Jeff, can you highlight them?
Yes.
Or speaker view or something?
There we go.
This is it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, besides all the carving and the burning, but I put lye on this, and that's how I did it. 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces. I put it on until it's saturated, and that's it. And I just put, this was polyurethane, satin polyurethane. I have maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 coats until it looks good. But that's what this is.
Okay.
You guys have seen this piece, haven't you? You've seen it before.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. This is actually ore burned here. Let's see. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I made that tool. It's like a spring, and yeah, the hard part on this is making sure all this is sharp, and this valley here, if you see it, it's straight all the way down. But yeah, but what I wanted to show anyway is the light. So I think your problem, Mike, is that you're putting too much light. Very,
Okay.
very strong solution.
Okay,
Try
now I gotta
that.
figure out how to get rid of what I've got.
Well,
So I
what you
can
can,
make a new mixture.
you can send it down and bring it down, you know, start with 80 grit, just bring it down. You have any texture on it or just plain?
Well, what it is actually it was a flat piece. I made a countertop for my nephew so he could
Yeah.
use in his mobile home. And I darkened it because he loved that color. That was beautiful color.
Mm-hmm.
And I put the lye on, I washed it with vinegar, and then I put a Watco butcher block finish on. And then on
Okay.
top of that, I made some board butter, beeswax, and mineral oil. And then I put that on and buffed that off. And the white powder is coming up.
Okay. Well, what I suggest is take it down, you know, to as much as you can take off with 80 grit, and then put sanding sealer. I would use a shellac sanding sealer. Don't use cellulose. I would use shellac, you know, the what we mix 50-50 or, you know, 75-25.
Right.
Put two heavy coats of that, sand it down back with 800, and then put the finish of choice. That should take care of it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah, shellac should seal most of what's underneath it. You know, it's like a barrier, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've used shellac as a barrier between a lacquer and a polyurethane because I didn't know what the base coat was. I had to refinish a rocking chair, and I didn't know what the base coat was, so I put shellac over it, and then I put wipe-on poly over the top, and that came out really nice.
Yes.
So yeah, I use shellac for a lot.
Yeah.
Now I use seal
That's
coat.
that's the sanding sealer I use. I use shellac, and usually I mix it either between 50-65. I just keep a small bottle, fill it half with that bullseye. You have to make sure it's wax free. That's
right.
Which is I think the yellow can is the wax, and the other one I forgot what the color is.
Well, I couldn't find it anywhere, and I ordered it. Everybody was out, and I ordered it through Amazon, and it was like a 3-month backlog before I could even get any.
Wow.
And
I just
finally
bought one. Did you buy one?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The sanding
almost
sealer,
gone.
they were out of sanding sealer?
They were out of shellac.
That bullseye.
Yeah, it's been very hard to find the sanding sealer. You can get the shellac, but I know Lowe's doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Try
bought
some of your
one.
local hardware stores.
That's where I
tried
got
that.
mine.
Ace Hardware.
That's
buy
where I
at
got
Ace
mine.
a lot.
I went there maybe 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and they had the last can, and I bought it. And they must have been in the store for a long time because the top of the can was plain. It didn't have, you know, usually they have the white coat on it, paint. This was metal, and it started to rust. So I don't know how long it had been sitting in there. But I opened it, it's fine. So I don't know, it's not easily available.
But you mix that 50-50, huh?
Yes, I
I've
do.
been using it straight out of the can.
Well, I found out that if I mix it 50-50 or 75-25, it's gonna absorb more into the wood. And I usually put 2 coats, and then after it is dry, which is usually, you know, overnight, I get 800 sandpaper very lightly. You guys go over it, and it comes so smooth like a baby's rear end. It's really,
and then I put poly over it.
Yes, then you can do whatever you want.
You know, you were talking about using lye. I've read some articles on ebonizing wood, and it's a two-step process of a couple different chemicals that you use and mix to turn your wood dark like ebony. So you might want to do some searching on ebonizing wood.
Well, ebonizing wood is gonna make it black usually, and one of the process they use steel wool and vinegar.
Right,
And-
they fume it.
Yeah, and it leaves it there and it turns black, and then you paint with the solution, and normally it makes everything black, or nearly black anyway.
You know, if I want black, what I've been doing instead of ebonizing with vinegar and steel wool is I'll take a torch to it, and then I'll sand it very lightly, or use the green woven Scotch Brite and take the char off,
Okay.
and it comes out really nice black.
Does it stay smooth though?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, depends on the wood.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing that a lot on oak, and of course that's not going to be real smooth, but it'll ebonize it really well.
I just spray it with lacquer, black lacquer.
Yep.
Okay.
I've used black shoe dye.
Yeah.
That works really well. Very
Oh, there
messy
you
if you
go.
spill it, but
You know, the best black color, the true color is what I think either the Navy used to use for their shoes. I think it's Phoebing. In fact, let me get it. I have it, but it's the true black dye, and it is shoe. They use it for the shoes, you know, for the Navy, I think.
If only we had somebody in the Navy that could tell us.
yeah, we're gonna have this Halvard show this, and then we're gonna have to call it a night.
Is it 9 o'clock already?
Yes, sir. Well, just
It
about
is.
there. Just about there. Time flies when you're having fun.
I was going to ask a
Absolutely.
question. I was waiting for you guys to get done talking.
Okay.
I'm turning into a pumpkin.
If you can, oh, there it is.
Oh,
This
that's
is
what
a-
I use. Yeah.
USMC, United States Marine Corps.
Uh-huh.
That's the truest black you can get. You can get this, which is just regular black, but it's not a true black as much as this one.
Yeah.
And it's just a leather dye. And you can use that. And sometimes to get a true black, they actually tell you to put purple underneath or blue below underneath the black. Because the black, unless you put a lot of coats on it, it doesn't show you as a true black. But with this USMC, it's a true black. And I use either this or I just spray it with black lacquer.
Okay. Okay, Ben, you had a question?
Yeah. So I got this piece, and I've sandblasted it, but it didn't give as much texture as I want. And I'm thinking about burning just the rim, just this part where my hands are.
What's
Mhm.
the wood?
It's oak.
What's the media you use for sandblasting?
I don't know. Like it was pretty fine silica powder or sand. It's at work, so I
Okay.
use their sandblaster. I think a coarser grit would have done better.
Well, there's two things. One is the media that you're using, and two is the air pressure, and three is how close you're holding your tungsten gun, because that's tungsten, how close you're holding it to it. And you have, because you're trying to take away the sapwood, right? And leave the hardwood there.
Yeah.
So you have to get into that vein where the sapwood is and walk it down like that to clear the sapwood off. But if the media you're using is too big, it won't be able to get in there and pull that sapwood out.
Right.
So I don't know
Yeah,
what media. Most probably some kind of a silicone if you're using it at work. They're using it on metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like a carborundum. It will do it, but it's gonna take a bit longer. and you have to get a bit closer. Try it again and get closer to it, and don't move it so fast. You don't go like that. I don't know how you did it, but you just don't go like you're spraying. You have to get close, more dedicated to the area that you want to clean out.
Okay. Yeah, because I did one before and it came out pretty fast. You know, like the texture showed up pretty deep. And just with this piece, even with the same stuff, it didn't, you know, cut as deep as the other one.
Yeah, it depends on the wood too. Maybe that was a different wood.
They were both oak, I think. Yeah, but I mean, it might just be that like the grain is a different direction a little bit, and so there's less. It's less obvious or whatever.
The best grain for that is when it's quarters on. If you have quarters on, because the grain is kind of up and down instead of an angle, right. So right. you have better chance of it digging into that. There is a guy, and his name is Pascal. He does something similar to what you're doing, but he might get them a bit thinner than what you are. And he uses oak, and you know how oak, they have those, it's like veins. And
yeah, where he gets, I was trying to get it to go all the way through.
Yes, you need to make it a bit thinner. How thick is it?
That thick.
I don't know, I cannot tell. Is that about an eighth?
It's less than that. It's maybe 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters.
3 millimeters is an eighth. 2 millimeters is 90 thousandths.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it gets a little thicker towards the center here, but
yeah.
Right at the rim, the you know, outside half inch is probably that.
Yeah, yeah. But the grain orientation makes a big difference.
Yeah,
look
maybe
him
that's
up.
what it is.
Yeah, look him up. His name is, I forgot his first name, Pascal, Pascal. And he does a lot of turning, and then he sandblasts them. Maybe he can give you some information as to what media he uses and, you know, how he does the sandblasting.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we've hit the end of our 2-hour time limit. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight and giving your great input. I think it was a fun time. So
It was very nice.
Yeah, we'll be doing this again as promised.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it, I look forward to seeing anybody who can make it on Saturday. I'm hoping it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it. My wife has an event, and I think I have to be there.
Well, she'll let you know if you have to be there or not.
Yeah.
Or else I'll be in the doghouse.
Right.
But,
good night, everybody.
Yeah, but thank you for, Ben, you put something on Facebook there just before the meeting started.
Yep.
That was a good idea because it reminded me.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. So that was a good idea. Good night, everybody.
Okay, take care, everybody. Be safe.
Bye.
We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks again.